All right, people. Yeah, I'm back. It's just me and talking Tulsi today. Um, Look, I know a lot of people think I'm about to like quit the channel and so forth. I'm not. You have your ups and downs, and you just fight through it. You just fight through it. You see the challenge that is before, and you persevere. Take Tulsi's advice and just plow forward. What else am I gonna do? Um, Tulsi Gabbard today gave a kick ass presentation in Las Vegas, Nevada, in front of veterans. It was a veterans town hall, and I have never seen her this passionate, this feisty, this combative on certain issues. Uh, at one point, she was talking about how there are all these independent voters out there, and she really made a pitch for people who are fed up with the political parties. Again, she's a Democrat and she's running within the infrastructure of the system. And I know people aren't going to like this analogy here, but Donald Trump kind of did the same thing on the right. He said, you know what? Uh, this party is crap. I'm going to tell you where they're crap. I'm going to tell you how uh, going into Iraq was a stupid idea. And, like our trade deals are bad. And, I like fair trade instead of free trade. Things like that, which really resonated with a lot of apolitical type people. So, Tulsi Gabbard, not that she's taking a page out of Trump's playbook, but she recognizes that there are people on what I consider the real left, not the resistance left, not the social justice warrior left, not the left that is doing the bean counting and the identity politics and the intersection of different things that I am, because we have to cross these things off the list in order for me to succeed, or that in and of itself means I'm qualified to do X, when it has no bearing on if you can do any of those things. What I'm looking for is somebody who can do the job. Tulsi actually meets a lot of those requirements. If you want that kind of thing, what I want, honestly, is I want a representative country. I want, the job situation to reflect the actual percentages of people who are in the population, like a natural occurring thing. And I know it doesn't work out that way, and I understand there's certainly a ton of discrimination out there. But why don't you run on preventing it rather than trying to find somebody who meets all of these things in order to run them when they might not even be qualified for the job? Tulsi Gabbard doesn't have to worry about that because she's both. She's eminently qualified for the job, and she's naturally intersectional. Um, Tulsi's just a kick-ass public speaker. She is blunt. She's to the point. I mean, the video she did where she actually said neocons and neolibs. How many people in the establishment media ever use that terminology? They don't. They don't know what a neocon is. I've seen actual neocons sit there and say, I don't know what that is. What do you mean neocon? Same thing with the neolibs. The neolibs are kind of a newer thing because the neocons have been around for a while. But the neolibs, they're kind of new. So I'm glad Tulsi is actually using the language that her supporters recognize and that others might pick up on when they actually see that she's running for the benefit of people and not the war machine. Okay, because the war machine has no bearing on what you and I want, because we don't vote for these regime change wars. When we elect a president, we don't expect them to continue going to war if we don't have to go to war. And war basically just benefits, the people who are in the military, maybe to some degree, but mostly military contractors, because a lot of rank and file military end up suffering as a result of these wars. And there's no better person on the scene right now running for the presidency. There's no better person than Tulsi Gabbard to address these issues because she knows firsthand and she can empathize. She can empathize with these brave men and women who've put their lives on the line. And she quite boldly says, you know what? I'm tired of sending you guys out into this, regime change atmosphere, this useless, endless war. War should be a last resort, and she understands that. So, really powerful talk today before the veterans. There are so many different points. I mean, she talked about opioids and how these guys can't even get medicinal marijuana. They can't get medical marijuana from the VA, but they can get, OxyContin or whatever, and that's going to make them possibly get hooked on the substance rather than get marijuana, which is much safer and much less addictive as far as a substance. But, the war on drugs, it's another thing she tackled during this talk. I mean, she hit on all cylinders. And she seems to be, I think she understands there is some momentum out there for her in these places where people really understand. And it was brilliant to schedule this in front of veterans because veterans, there's no better candidate in the last 30, 40 years. I mean, who has run for president who's got the background that Tulsi has, but doesn't want to blow the hell out of every country? Okay, think of that. There are a lot of people that are, hey, I'm military, but a lot of them just look at what the generals want and they look at what the CIA wants to do or what the foreign policy establishment, what they want to do. Tulsi Gabbard says, nope, I'm going to stand up to all of those alphabet soup agencies and everybody else in the military-industrial complex. We're going to bring people home. We're going to do education. We're going to do Medicare for all. We're going to do all kinds of reforms that are going to help the American people rather than just cater to the war machine. I mean, she was just fantastic today. And if you're an independent, I'm going to just appeal, not to just trump people. I mean, Tulsi Gabbard, she's actually a little too good for some of the rank and file people who just don't want to wake up. She just is. Because they just want to play their little game. They want to play the football game where I'm on the R team, this other person's on the D team. You can't have these two people working together. And we saw that in the talk where she gave that as an illustration. Well, I can't co-sponsor this bill because it'll make this guy look good. So we've got to scrap the whole thing and not do it. Or I'll try to do it myself, but because I don't have bipartisan support, it's not going to get done. Someone else proposes it, then the bill gets done because it wasn't you, it was that person, and they're in the accepted group. It's hard to really keep track of, folks. And all I know is Tulsi Gabbard is the real deal. I keep saying this over and over again. The more I see her just talking one-on-one or in small groups or in larger groups, doesn't matter. She's sincere. She's bold. She's unafraid. And I think that's one of the great traits of Tulsi Gabbard. She's completely unafraid. She knows that the enemy is right now within us as a country. The enemy is within. It's not out there. It's not Russia. It's not even China. I mean, they're adversarial to some degree in some ways. But right now, our real enemy is the deep state government, the military-industrial complex, the media-industrial complex, and all of these neocons and neolibs that just want to hang on to power. And I think it's very important that people who are apolitical, who don't look at politics, take a good look at Tulsi Gabbard and think to yourself, is this somebody who I'd be proud to have as president of the United States? And I bet you the answer is yes. You may not agree with her on some of her social issues, and I've said this before. I don't. I'm worried about a few issues, but she had me at no more regime change wars. She had me at we're going to reform government and get corruption out of government. She had me at all of the things that are the big ticket items that we need to be talking about with our friends, our neighbors. We need to let them know that this is bigger than a temporary morphine hit in the economy because you gave tax breaks to big corporations and Wall Street's booming and all that looks good on paper. Meanwhile, Bob is working 2 jobs and still doesn't have enough money in case his family gets into an emergency. You know, this is the reality, folks. This isn't just stuff I'm making up to do a video. All right, so I'm going to close out this video and I'm going to say this. You know, my goal here on this channel is to promote Tulsi Gabbard, okay? And if I use some other material to get myself inspired to do a video, or I see something that triggers me in a way that I've got to address, keep in mind, I will continue to do that. I will continue. I'm not going to be threatened. I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be told, hey, you know what? This is the big boy table here, and you haven't graduated. You just got here, so sit down and shut up. Sorry. This is my channel. This is our channel. And there are plenty of other channels to go watch. You know, there's the neocon channel if you want neocons. There's the neolib channel, all day 24/7 resistance if you want to watch that. If you like to hear yourself talk, there are plenty of people doing all kinds of media that seem to really enjoy hearing themselves talk. Tune in. It'll be great. You know, so that's my spiel. See you soon.